Okay, guys, so just finishing off the end of the last question there. So it says Kieran's graph does not show the total time as a function of distance. Give a reason why Brendan is correct. So let's go back to what a definition of a function is. So a standard function, let's say f of x, is let's say 2x plus 5. Okay, I'm just giving you a stat. There's nothing to do with the question here. I'm just showing you what a function is. So there's an input and then there's an output. Okay, so the x values are known as the input. Okay, so these are the inputs. Okay, so let's imagine the inputs 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and each one of them will have an output. Okay, so the outputs can be, let's say, so 2 times 0 plus 5. So 2 times 0 plus 5 is 5. 2 times 1 plus 5 is 7. 2 times 2 plus 5 is 9. So basically what we're doing here is we're replacing the x value with the desired input, and then we're calculating what the output is. Okay, so that's as simple as function. That's a really simple version of a function. Okay, so the 0 belongs to the 5, the 1 belongs to the 7, the 2 belongs to the 9, and the 3 belongs to 11. Now there's a rule in functions. The rule is that basically the rule is inputs can only have one output. So 2 goes to 9, 1 goes to 7, 0 goes to 5, and 3 goes to 11. Even quadratic graphs, okay? Outputs can have 2 inputs. So in a quadratic graph, you might see something like this, where 2 points are the same, as in you could have like a 3, 5, and then you could have a minus 2, 5, okay? But that's basically your input would be minus 2 and let's say 3, and both of them go to an output of 5. That's okay. 2 inputs are, an output is allowed to have 2 different inputs, but what is not allowed to happen is one input is not allowed to have 2 different outputs. So the number 1 can't have 2 outputs of 7 and 9. Now what we can see in Brendan's graph is that an input of 2 has an output of 10 and 15. This does not, Brendan's graph does not, Kieran's graph does not qualify as a function, as an input of 2 has 2 different outputs. So here's the reason why Kieran's graph does not qualify as a function. Okay, so you have to point 210 and 215. An input cannot have 2 different outputs. Okay, so there you go. 2 has an output of 10 and 15, and this cannot happen. Okay, so now we're on to question 7. Describe each of the following sets and be as specific as possible. All right, this is a set of positive whole numbers. Positive whole numbers. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Integers, a set of positive and negative whole numbers. And negative whole numbers. Okay, so that's all done. Okay, graph the inequality on the following number line. Well, it's element R, so this means it's not going to be dots, because dots only include the whole numbers, doesn't include the fractions and decimals. So it's got to be a line. Okay. Now, this means that minus 3 smaller than the numbers you list, and x smaller than or equal to 2 means your numbers you list have to be smaller than 2 or equal to 2. So because it's allowed equal to, you can put in a filled in dot, but because minus 3 is not allowed, you can use a hollow dot. This means the hollow dot means you're not allowed minus 3, but you're allowed minus 2.99 or 999. So that means it starts at minus 3, but it doesn't include minus 3, and it goes all the way to 2. Now the next thing, use algebra to solve the following inequality. Well, to solve this inequality, what we do is need to remember that you just blank out one part at a time. So what we do is we deal with this part first. Minus 7 less than or equal to 8 minus 3g. Move 3g to the left and you get 3g less than 8. And then you can bring this over the other side and we can say plus 7. 3g less than 15. G less than 5 because you divided both sides by 3. Now I'm going to do it another way just to show you some other things we need to remember. Remember inequalities, if I said 4 was bigger than 2, when I multiply both sides by minus, what will happen is you basically have to reverse the sign to make it true. Okay? You can also do what we call is spin, where you spin both sides around. So 4 is bigger than 2. This means 2 is smaller than 4. So remember these rules. So I'm just going to spin this around. So I'm basically going to say 8 minus 3g is, if minus 7 is smaller than that, they're obviously bigger than minus 7. I'm going to move the 8 over the other side and it becomes minus 7 minus 8. I'm going to get minus 3g greater than minus 15. When I multiply both sides by minus 1, it's important I reverse the signs and then I get g less than 5. Two different ways of doing the same question. I want you guys to be perfectly practiced, okay? So if we look at the next part then, we're going to get 8 minus 3g less than or equal to 11. Bring the 8 over the other side and we get minus 3g less than or equal to 11 take away 8. Minus 3g less than or equal to 3. Multiply both sides by minus 1, we get g less than or equal to 3g less than or equal to minus 3. Also reverse the sign around. Need to reverse that sign around, guys. Okay, oop. Here we go. And finally, we're going to get g is bigger than minus 1. G greater than or equal to minus 1. Okay, so you can write it like this here. Now there's another way of writing it. Okay, we can, what can we do here? We can reverse this around where minus 1 has to be smaller than or equal to g. And then what I tend to do is I tend to merge the two of them like this. So I can merge the two answers together like so. That would be my answer there. Minus 1 less than or equal to g less than or equal to 5. All the answers have to be bigger than minus 1, but all the answers also has to be less than 5. So I would consider this here my answer. Okay. Everybody okay with that? Okay. Less than 5. Okay, let's move on. Venn diagram shows number of people in U club who play music M and sports S, where N is an element of N. So this means N is a natural number. It has to be, you can't have a decimal like 12.3 here. It has to be a whole number. Okay. So we're going to work out the maximum number of people who could be in the U club. The maximum number of people that could be in the U club. Well, usually with these questions, I like to toy around with the numbers a wee bit. Okay, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So first thing I'm going to try is 0. Okay, now please remember everybody is in the U club. Everybody inside the box is in the U club. So imagine I try n equals 0. This essentially 2 times 0 makes that 0, and then 2 times 184 minus 0 will just be 184. And how many people would this have in the club then? It'll have your 52, your 184, and then it'll also have your 125. So this means 361 people are in the U club when n equals 0. Now the biggest value of n I could have is I'm not allowed to have negative numbers, because if I said n equals 185, 184 minus 185 is minus 1. And how can you say you have minus 1 people that do music and sport? That makes no sense. So the largest value of n I could possibly put in would be n equal to 184. So what happens here is 184 take away 84 is 0. And then 2 times 184, when you multiply that, is 372. Then when you add all these numbers together, we're going to find out the maximum number of people that could have been in the U Club. Okay, so what we're looking for here is, I think it's 372 plus 52 plus 125 people. So I'm going for 549. Okay, just give me a second with this one. I think I might have made an error. Oh, sorry, I did. That's not 184. That's 2 times 184, which is 368. So that's where my error was made. Sorry, guys. So let's try this again. Not 372, but 368. So 545, lads. Okay, and you got that by adding 52 plus 125 plus 368. Okay, so that's that one done. Okay, move on. So that's all of question 8 done. Short question. Now we're going for question 9. Look at the following sequence, which repeats every 3 times. So 364, 364, 364. So T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, T6, T7, T8, T9. So T1, T4, T1, T4, and T7 are all the same. So you can just count up in threes there. So T11 will be the same, okay? And then you know that, and these ones are all equal to 3. And then you know 6 is equal to T2, T5, and then T8. Whoa, sorry, I made a mistake there. That's T10. T10 for 3. And now that's T8, and that's T11. This means 4 must be T3, T6, T9, and T12. So the answer must be 4. Okay, so that's that one done. Okay, let's see what's next on our list. Work out the value of the 100th term in the sequence. Well, the 100th term in the sequence, see the way these are all multiples of 3. So that's T15. Any multiple of 3 will be here. T30 will be here. T90 will be here because that's also a multiple of 3. That means T99 will also be there. So we know T99 is 4. So what comes after 4 on the list? A 3. So this means T100 must be equal to 3. Okay, so 100 term must be equal to 3. Let's keep going. Describe how to find the value of the n term in the sequence when n is a natural number. So it's like I pick a number at random, like 17. How do I know which one it is? Without listing all the terms from first to nth. Well, let's see if we can come up with a system here, okay? Each one has a different system. So it's like what I did here earlier. I'm just going to list off these ones, right? So if you're the number 3, you're 1, 4, 7, 10. Right now, I know I'm listening at the moment, but just bear with me for a second. And then 6. Sorry, what's 6? 6 is 2, 5, 8, 11. 6 is 2, 5, 8, 11. And then 4 is 3, 6, 9. Okay. The nth term in a sequence without doing this. Okay, give me a second. Okay, well, something interesting to look at here is that, well, when it's a 4, if you divide all these terms by 3, they go in equally. Okay? So Describe how to find the nth term in the sequence where n equals, well, listen to all the terms. This from first to nth. So if I had a t, let's say I had t12 or t15 or t99, just divide the term number by 3. And if it goes in equally, we know the answer must be 4. Now what happens if we do the rest of them like this? What happens if we divide these ones by 3? Well, we know they don't go in evenly, but we know the remainder is always 2. And then, so if I have like let me give you an example, what would be t98, not t93, t98. If I did 98 divided by 3, and I got 3, and then I went in twice, remainder 2, I'd automatically know the answer is 6, because all of these terms have a remainder of 2. T2 has a remainder 2 when divided by 3, T5 has a remainder 2 when divided by 3, and T8 has a remainder 2 when divided by 3. Okay, and then finally, if you divide the top one by 3, it will have a remainder of 1. So here's what you do. You divide the term by 3, and if it has a remainder of 1, so we'll write this out in graph. Divide the term number by 3, and if it has a remainder of 1, it's a 3. If it has a remainder of 2, it's a 6, and if it divides in equally, it's a 4. Done. Okay guys, let's move on. Gertie made her sequence, so Gertie is making her own sequence here. Okay, so by picking 3 as the first term, so T1, 3, and then using this drill. If a term is odd, multiply it by 2 to get the next term. If a term is even, add 2 to it and divide by half to get the next term. Okay, so let's try this out. So we can see that T1 is odd, so we're meant to multiply it by 2, and do we get the next term? We get 6. Excellent. If a term is even, so for example T2 could be 6, and what we do is we add 2 to it to get 8, we divide it in half and we get 4. So that works for 6 onto 4, that works perfectly. What about T3? Well, T3 is an even number, which is 4. And then we're going to add 2 to it to get 6. And then we're going to divide it by 2 to get the next term, which is 3. So it works so far. Okay, so that's all good. A different sequence follows the same rule, but has 8 in its first term. Work out the next 4 terms in the sequence. Okay, well, 8 is even. Okay, so because 8 is even, I'm going to add 2 to 8. So 8 plus 2 is 10. Then I'm going to half my answer to get 5. Now, 5 is odd, so I'm going to multiply 5 by 2 to get 10. Then I'm going to add 2 to get the next term. So I'm going to get 12 for that one. So I've got 8, 5, and 12 so far. Multiply by 2 to get, oh sorry, multiply by 2. Sorry, don't add 2, just multiply by 2. So I read it wrong. So multiply by 2 to get the next term. So if your term is odd, multiply by 2. Now, if your term is even, add 2 to it, so it's going to be 10 plus 2, which is 12. half your answer to get the next term, which would be 6. 6 is also even. So what we're going to do there is we're going to add 2 to 6 to get 8. And then we're going to half our answer. So 8 divided by 2, which is 4. So there's our answers there, 8, 5, 10, 6, and 4. Okay, let's move on. Ahmed takes 2 as his first term and makes a sequence using the same rule. What is so unusual about Ahmed's sequence? It might be helpful to work out some of the terms in the sequence. Okay, so we're going to use the same rule. Might just copy and paste the rule onto this page so I can use it. Something else, send a new page. Okay, like so. I'm going to shrink it down. I need to have it in front of me when I'm doing this. Okay, so let's put this on top of the page, like so. Okay, 2 is his first term. So the term is 2. So 2 is the first term. T1 equals 2. So that's 2 on the list there. Now, if it's even, add 2 to it. So it's going to be 2 plus 2, which is 4. Half your term to get the next term is 2. So 2 turns to 2. It's going to continue as 2 all the way, no matter what happens. Because you're going to be constantly adding 2 to 2 to get 4, then you're going to divide by 2 to get 2. So it's just constantly, it's never going to change. All the terms in his sequence are going to work out to be 2 by the looks of it. The sequence will all remain as 2's. Okay, done. E. Another sequence uses the same rule. Oh god, we're going to do another one. This is quite painstaking. So let's go again. I mean, exciting. Now, the second term is 86. Work out 2 different values the first term could have been in this sequence. Okay, well, we have 2 scenarios. Scenario A and scenario B. Scenario A was there was an odd number before the 86, and scenario B was there was an even number before the 86. So let's try the odd one first. Multiply it by 2 to get the next term. So in this case, we should have divided by 2. So the answer must be 43. Okay, because 43 multiplied by 2 is 86. Now, if it's even, we gotta do this one. If the term is even, add 2 to it and half your answer to get the next term. Well, if we half the answer to get 86, then we must multiply it by 2 to get 172. But then, we already added 2 to this number, so we got to take away 2, so the answer must be 170. If you aren't sure to check your answer, you can always go backwards. If a term is even, add 2 to it. Add 2 to 170, you get 172. Then half your answer, which we all know is 86. So that works and that works. Okay, happy days. F. A different sequence following the same rule starts with the number k. Okay, so we're just going to hopefully do this again. Now, does it tell us if k is odd or even? Well, k is odd, so that should be all right. If k is odd, multiply it by 2 to get to the next term. Work out the next 3 terms of the sequence, give each term the simplest form in terms of k. Alrighty. So, k is odd, gets multiplied by 2, which is 2k. 2k has to be even, because 2 times any number is even. Now we gotta follow the even rule. So we get our 2k, we add 2 to it, and then we half our answer by dividing by 2. So 2 into 2k plus 2 is 2 times k plus 1 over 2. The 2's cancel, and that leaves this answer as k plus 1. Now k plus 1 has to be even, because k is odd, so it's an odd number plus 1. So that's even. The next one after that is going to go through the even rule again. So the even rule is add 2 to it. So I'm going to get my k plus 1. I'm going to add 2 to it. So plus 2, which gives me k plus 3. And then I have to halve my answer, which is k plus 3 over 2. And there is my 4 terms. Don't have to figure out if this is even or odd, but it'd be probably be even. Well, it's not necessary. Might not. No, it has to divide in. Has to divide in equally. So yeah, k is odd plus an odd number, which is an even number divided by an even number, which will still be even. You don't have to work that out anyway, but good to know. Okay, next question after this is we're going to be drawing some graphs for question 10. Always fun. Okay, I'm just going to now. Okay guys, work out the following functions in the following domain. So what you need to do is you want to draw these graphs, okay? So you have the function 10x minus x squared. So you go to your mode, you go to your table function, and you go 10x alpha x minus 4x squared, like so. Your start is minus 2. Your end is plus 2, because you can see that's your x values here. Step of 1. Now you can see your points here: minus 2, 36, minus 1, minus 11, minus 14, 0, 0, 1, 6, 2, 4. Okay, so look, we'll do this now. So 1, 6 is about there. 2, 4, just under halfway. Then we got 0, 0, no bother here. And then what else do we have? We have minus 1, minus 14, which is about minus 1, minus 14 is just underneath 15. And then finally we have what's minus 2 and minus 36. Minus 2 and minus 36, which is about here. Sorry, I don't mind that last one there. Okay. And then you can just draw your graph really quickly, like so. Now you want to be a bit smoother on the, it's sort of a U-shape, N-shaped graph, sorry guys, so you just got to link those points in properly, okay? As best you can. Now, next I got to draw the function y equals 3 to the power of x. So once again, scan here, do 3, then your power button to the power of x. Starts at minus 2, ends at 2, step of 1. Now you might see 0.111, very low, and then 0.323, so both of them are very low. Okay, so just for those of you who need a bit of context, okay, so basically it's 3 to the power of minus 2, which is a ninth, which is minus 0.11. That's what happens when you replace x with minus 2, so it's minus 2 and 1/9. Then it's minus 1 and 1/3, which is your 0.33. And then it's 0, 1, 1, 3, because 3 to the power of 0 is 1, 3 to the power of 1 is 3, 3 to the power of 2, 9. So I gotta draw these. So 2, 9, 1, 3, 0, 1, minus 1 is 1/3, so just roughly 1/3 of the way up, and then minus 2 much closer. So we can see that it's a bit of a, once again forgive my wobbly hand here, but we can see that it's a curving upwards. Okay, then we can see that we're curving up there like so. Alright, great, that's 2 graphs drawn. Let's see what's next in store for us. Okay, so I just want us to draw 2 graphs, some easy money by the looks of it. Okay, next thing, answer this. Well, we're going to need m and n, means the answer is going to be a fraction, and m and n are natural numbers, so you're going to have something like 2/3 or something like that. We're going to need a common denominator. The common denominator I think we're going to get is 6, so what I'm going to get is my 3x plus 5 over 2 plus my x minus 4 over 3 equals only 16. And what we're going to do is we're going to divide it by, we're going to put 6's here, so 3 on top, 2 on the bottom here, and then what we're going to do here, we're going to need 6 on the bottom, which makes 6 on top. Then because all the denominators are the same, we can therefore chop them off. Okay, so we're going to get 9x plus 15 plus 2x minus 8 equals 16 multiplied by 6, which is 96. And what we're going to get is 11x plus 7, I believe, equals 96. Bring the 7 over to your side and then just take it away. So then we're going to get 11x equals 89. X equals 89 over 11. So look, happy days, that's done. Okay, so easy peasy. Now on to question 12. Factorize the following. Well, we can see that there's square numbers involved here. So it's going to be a squared minus 4n to be squared. And then we're going to have a plus 4n bracket a minus 4n. Now if you aren't sure about this answer, just multiply it back out. You can check your answer a by 4n, 4na, and then 4n by 4n. And you can check your answer and you'll see it turns out to be the same thing. One of the factors of this is x plus 8. Factorize this. Well, you can do this two ways. You can do this by long division if you want. So what you can do is you can say it's x plus 6 and then divide that into 8x squared plus 45x minus 18 because you're told one of the numbers already. So what you can do is you can say that goes in 8x times, then you multiply it out, so you're going to get 8x squared, multiply the 8x by the 6 to get 48x, take both of them, take them away then, and you get 45, take away 48, which is 3x, minus 3x, bring down the minus 18. Once again, divide the minus 3x by the x to get minus 3. So then multiply by minus 3 and we get minus 3x minus 18. Change the signs and your answer is 0. Okay, so we basically factorize this. The answer is x plus 6 and 8x minus 3. Now the other way of doing it would be to try and multiply 8 by 18. Now this might be quite difficult, but we'll give it a go. 8 times 18, 144. Okay guys, so 144. Alright, break up 144 into as many of the factors as we can. So I think what we can try here is maybe try, well, you can go 2 and 72, no good. 3 and what's it? 84 divided by 3, or so multiplied, sorry. 144 divided by 3. 48. Ah, we got it on our second go. 3 and 48. Awesome. So we do 8x squared plus 48x minus 3x minus 18. Then we can say, look, take out 8x, so we get 8x into x plus 6 minus 3 into x plus 6. And then you're going to get 8x minus 3, x plus 6. Same answer either way. Okay, it's all good. Now, B part 2. Write down one quadratic expression x other than this where x plus a is a factor. Well, take your pick. You can do x multiplied by x plus 6, which would be x squared plus 6x. That would be a factor. You can do x minus 6 and then x plus 6, which we all know is x squared minus 36. We could also do x plus 6 and just take any other random factor, maybe something like x minus 2. And when you multiply that out, you're going to get x squared plus 4x minus 12. Any of these answers are acceptable in that box. Right, show that this is a factor of the following. Well, if it's a factor, it divides unequally. In the same way, 2 is a factor of 8. because 8 divided by 2 goes in evenly as 4. Okay, so if it goes in evenly, it's a factor. So we're going to do here. Okay, so like so, and then 2y plus 3. So y squared, multiply it out, and we get 3y squared minus 9 plus 3. We're going to change the signs. And we get minus 12y squared minus 28y, you bring it down. And then we divide minus 12y squared divided by 2y, and we get minus 6y. Multiply it out again. So minus 6y times 2y is minus 12y squared. Minus 6y times 3 is minus 18y. We change the signs, and we go for minus 10y then, because 28y minus 18y is minus 10y. Then we bring down the minus 15. And how many times does 2y plus 3 go into minus 10y minus 15? Well, minus 10y divided by 2y, we get minus 5. So then multiply minus 5 over there, and you get minus 10y minus 15. We got to change the signs, and lo and behold, it goes in evenly, proving that it is a factor. Okay, done. Next one. Freda is starting an exercise program. She wants to increase her power. The formula for power is this, where Freda's weight is in kilograms and height in meters, so that she can jump. Sorry, height in the meters that she can jump. Work out her p-value. Well, her p-value is going to be 36 times 70 plus 62 times 0.65 plus 1,800. Okay, we're going to see what happens here. 1,800. Okay, and put all that into the calculator, and you get 4,360.3. Okay. After 1 week, Freda's output has increased by 8. Her weight has not changed. Work out the new value of h after this week, correct the 2 decimal places. Well, her power is an additional 8. So we can change the p-value for 4,300 and what's it, 68.3. Then the formula says 36 times her weight, so it's going to be 36 times 70. Her weight hasn't changed. Then it's going to be 62 times the height of her jump. It must be the height of her jump that's changed, because that's what we're looking for here. So 62h plus 1,800. Okay, and what we get after that is we're just going to multiply this out. So 36 times 70 is 2,520 plus 4,368.3 plus 1,800 plus 62h. Really quickly to do this, what we can do is get our 4,368.3. We're eventually going to bring over the other values of the other side. So we're going to take away the 2,520, and we're also going to take away the 18. And what we get is 48.3. So 48.3 equals 62h. Now we're expecting a bigger jump than last time. So 48.3 divided by 48.3 divided by 62, let's hope it works out for us. 0.779, so a 0.78 jump I'd reckon, so h equals 48.3 over 62, and then our h value is automatically equal to, what did we say it was, 0.78 to 2 decimal places. Okay, happy days. 0.78 meters. Okay. C, I think that's everything there. C, the graph below shows p-values for different heights when weight is 70 kilograms. The graph cuts the y-axis when p equals 4,320 as shown. Draw a graph to show the p-values for different heights h when w equals 80 kilograms using the same scales, axis, and domain. State on the diagram the value of p where your graph cuts the y-axis. All right. Okay. So we're going to grab the formula from here. Okay. And we're just going to alter this formula for ourselves in a minute. Okay. Now we're told we have to use a weight of 80. Okay. So what we're going to say is our p-value equals 36 times 80 plus our 1800, and just remember, I'm just going to put the 62h over the other side here for a second, okay? So your power, 32 times 80 plus 1800, 4680. So your p-value is 4680, and that's your 62h here. Okay, now think of a geometry where we have y equals mx plus c. If h is your x-axis, that means your slope is 62. And then your c value is where you cut the y-axis. So your c value, your y-intercept, is 4680. Or essentially, you can make your formula y equals 62x plus 4680. Okay, so look at this. So we're going to put this into my calculator as an f of x function. So it's going to have the same slope as the last one. The last equation also, when it was done for 70. So guys, just please remember, when this was done for 70, remember it was 36 times 70 p plus 1800 plus 62h, and this would have came to a p-value equals 62h, and then when you did these two parts together, you'd get 4320, and that explains the y-intercept of 4320 would have been the c value. Okay, so if I use y equals mx plus c here, we would have seen that the intercept would have been 4320. So it's just a slightly higher intercept with the same slope. So we can just say, look, we don't really know the scale here, but what I can just say, look, this is 4680. You can do it anywhere on this graph because it doesn't have any scale once it's above the old value, and just make it parallel. Once you're parallel, you're sorted. And you can just say, look, weight equals 80 kilograms. Okay, no bother. Okay, let's move on. Frida finds the second formula for power output. She sets the two formulas equal to each other. This gives the following entity. So this is the old formula, and this is the new formula. And we're looking to get h on its own. So the first thing we're going to do is going to move anything that has a h onto the left-hand side. So see the 80h? 80h stays. The 60w has to go to your side, the 15f has to go to your side, the 1300 has to go to the other side, and the 62h has to change sides. So you're going to have 80h minus 62h equals 36w minus 60w plus 15f when it moves over to your side, plus 1800, and then plus 1300. What we're going to get here is 18h's equals 15f's minus 24w's, and then plus 3100. Then we're going to have to divide by 18 to get h on its own. So h is equal to h is equal to 15 over 18. Sorry, just put all over 18. Doesn't really bother me. So for me, it's 15f minus 24w plus 3100 all over 18. Okay, happy days. Done. Last one. First terms of a sequence are 6x minus 3, x squared minus 2x, and 4x squared plus 3x. Fill in the following tables to write each of the first differences in its simplest form. So it's like T1 minus T2 is a first difference, And T3 minus T2 is also a first difference. In the same way, if I had 2, 5, and 8, if you do T2 take away T1, you get 3 for the first difference. If you do T3 minus T2, you get 3 for also the first difference. So we're just going to take them away from each other. And we know they have to be equal to each other if it is an arithmetic sequence, but it doesn't necessarily say that. So here's the first term. Take away the second term. Okay, so that's going to be x squared minus 2x minus another 6x and then plus 3. So it's going to be minus 2x minus 6x is minus 8x plus 3. So that's your difference. Okay, and then your second difference is going to be T3 take away T2, which is going to be 4x squared plus 3x take away T2, which is x squared minus 2x, which is minus x squared plus 2x. X squared minus x squared is 3x squared. 3x plus 2x equals 5x. Okay, excellent. Now, we're next told that it's a linear sequence. So it's a linear sequence. The two differences must be equal to each other. Okay, remember what we said earlier? That if that was 2, 5, and 8, T3 take away T2 is the same thing as T2 take away T1. Okay, so what we're going to do here then? The forms of the linear sequence show that this is the formula that we're looking for. Well, this means our last two answers are equal to each other, so this must equal this one. So 3x squared plus 5x equals x squared minus 8x plus 3. And then we're going to bring over the x squared. So 3x squared minus x squared is 2x squared. 5x, bring over the minus 8x, comes a plus 8x. 5x plus 8x is 13x. No bother, bring over the 3 and becomes a minus 3. And look, we're just after proving this right here. Nextly, solve this equation, give each answer correct to two decimal places. We're going to probably need the minus b formula. A equals 2, b equals 13. Remember, it's ax squared plus bx plus c. Our c value is minus 3. Our minus b value must be minus 13. We put it into the formula, which is the minus b formula, as shown. Okay, so it's going to be minus 13 plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 13 squared, minus 4 times 2 times minus 3, all over 2 times 2. Put that into your calculator. So you're going to get minus 13 plus square root 13 squared minus 4 bracket 2 bracket minus 3 all over 2 times 2. So one answer is minus 13 plus root 193 over 4. We change that into minus 0.223. Okay, then the next answer, if you just go right, you have to change the plus into a minus. There's your second answer, and we just change that, we get minus 6.72. And you say that's multiplied top by minus, so it's going to be 13. What is it again? Oh yeah, it's going to be just minus 13 minus 163 over 4. So we've got our 6.72 and our minus 2.23, but we want 6.723. Okay guys, that's me. Finished on this Sunday evening. Enjoy. Better be doing your study, guys. I know I did.